Let me tell you something, okay? If you are chasing wealth, you're chasing money, then deep down, you believe that it's greater than you. And if you believe it's greater than you, then you've already placed it above Allah. Because what is chasing really? Chasing is that you're admitting that you're lacking something. And it's basically you saying, I need that thing to complete me. But the moment that you need something more than you need Allah, then you've built a new ilah. You've built an idol that you're worshipping unknowingly. And wealth, money, it punishes you when it thinks that it's your God. That's the energy of money. The moment that money thinks that it's your God, that it has power over you, is going to destroy you. And it's going to destroy you because money is a creation of Allah. Wealth is a creation of Allah. Abundance and rizq is a creation of Allah. So if it feels that it has control over you, it's going to destroy you to tell you, go back to the Creator. Why are you worshipping me? Go back to the Creator. That's literally what it is. And that's why the more you chase it, the more that it runs away from you. So it's not because someone did black magic on you, bro. Or someone gave you the evil eye, and now you're thinking, that's why my wealth is blocked. That's not the reason. It's because Allah refuses to let you find peace in anything except Him. Allah doesn't want you to find peace through money. Your bank is a lot. You're like, oh, my bank is good now, and now you're feeling peace. You're like, oh, alhamdulillah. When in reality, you're saying, thank God for the money. That's what you're saying. Or thank the money or whatever. Allah doesn't want you to find peace through that. That's why Allah will take it away from you to tell you, you've placed your attention somewhere false. You've placed your attention on a false idol. Place it back to me. Because money comes and goes. And now you're going to be placing all of your hopes and desires and love on money, when you should be placing all these emotions and this attention to Allah. That's why the Quran says, do not take two gods. He is but one God. So fear me alone. Don't fear anything else except Allah. But every day, you're stressing about your bank account. You're stressing about your future. You're comparing your life to others. And you're not worshipping Allah in that sense, man. In that case, in that reality, you're not really worshipping Allah. You're worshipping fear. You're obeying scarcity. You're chasing a God that can't give you anything. And you're running away from the one who can give you everything. So now ask yourself truly, are you chasing money, or are you connecting yourself to the Creator? And by the way, I'm not asking you like, are you praying, are you doing salah to money? Obviously, none of us are going and then we're bowing down to money. That's not what I'm asking. Somehow you've been deluded thinking that worship is only whatever you're doing sujood to. That's not what worship is. Worship is, what are you truly thinking about moment to moment? What are you placing your attention on the whole day, moment to moment? If it's always towards the lack, the scarcity, the anxiety, the lack of money, or the lack of anything really, that's where you're worshiping. Like, what state are you in consistently the whole day? Because you might be praying to Allah on the outside, but during salah, all you're thinking of is just the lack of money. So who are you really praying to in that moment? Because one of those states is that you're repelling the rizq, and the other state, when you're connected to Allah, that's the state that brings all the rizq to you. Now think about this. Every prophet, they were tested in the exact thing that they were meant to carry. None of them, they received the rizq until they surrendered their own idea of how it should come. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was ready to give up his son, and that's when Allah replaced the sacrifice with something greater than that. He didn't replace it before, he replaced it after the blade was drawn, and the heart was like, and after the heart said, Ya Rabbi, even this belongs to you. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he gained rizq when he surrendered the very same thing that he loves. Because this love is only supposed to be belonging to Allah. Musa alayhi salam, he wasn't saved by planning. He wasn't worried about, oh, I got to plan every little detail that I have to save the Israelites and blah, blah, blah. He stood between an army and an ocean. He was about to get killed. He had nothing in the moment. Even his own people went against him in that moment. But he surrendered to Allah. He says, my Lord is with me and He will guide me. And as a result, the ocean splits. The ocean splits. That's greater than anything you can gain. And that's releasing all the outcome and standing firm and surrender to Allah. Maryam alayhi salam, she was in the middle of pain, in the middle of isolation, laboring alone. And what did Allah say? He says, shake the trunk of the palm tree, fresh dates will fall upon you. So she didn't hustle for rizq. She didn't have a business plan. She was just told to move a tree while in labor. And this is because Allah's trying to show her, rizq is not from effort, it's from obedience to the one Lord. And this one Lord is accessible to every human being, not just Muslims, every human being. And the lesson here is that you don't receive what you chase, man. You receive what you're willing to hand over. And that's why Abdul Qadir Jilani, he says, he's like, the world is like a shadow. If you chase it, it's going to start running away from you just like a shadow. And when you turn your back on it, it's going to start coming after you. It's going to follow you. If you truly, truly believe this, you wouldn't be running yourself into anxiety, chasing something that was never even moving toward you in the first place. And here's the thing. The world is designed to flee, to run away from the one who tries to control it. The more you try to control dunya, the more that you start becoming so stingy with your money. And you're like, no, I'm the one that's in control of the money. I have to be doing this to get this. The moment that you start doing that, that's when you start losing it. That is when you start losing it. But here's what most people don't realize. You're not tired because you're working hard, Habibi. Most people are getting burnt out nowadays because they think, oh, I'm just working too much, I'm getting burnt out. No, you're tired because you're carrying something that you were never meant to carry. This illusion of control, drop it, man. You think you have to control your income, your rizq and all that stuff? You don't. You really don't. Abdul Qadir Jilani says, let go of the reins. Allah was never asking you to drive. He was only asking you to ride. Just be a passenger. The illusion of control is the heaviest thing that you're holding. And the moment that you drop it, the moment that you say in your heart, Allah is the planner, I am just a passenger, that's when the path finally opens once again. That's when the path finally opens once again. So let me tell you something that most people will never tell you. This is very, very important. Most people think that shirk is only towards a statue or that it's towards a grave. They think, no, me, I never do shirk. Me, I say La ilaha illallah and I identify as a Muslim. Therefore, I never do shirk because I never bow down to a grave. I never ask the unseen other than Allah, and I never bow down to a statue. So me, I never do shirk. But what if this whole thing about shirk is just a state of being, something that's internal and not external? What if every time you bow down to fear, every time you obey, stress, every time you sacrifice your peace for anxiety, you're in sujood to a false God? Quran once again says, don't take two gods. He is but one God. So fear me alone. Fear me alone. Place all your attention on me alone. But your life is telling a whole different story. You say with your tongue, Allah is Ar-Razzaq. You say it. But then you panic when you're not making enough money during the month. You say Allah is in control, but then you obsess over who's ahead of you. And you're saying Allah is enough, but then you're still making decisions out of fear. Why? Understand, stress is worship of a future that you think Allah won't show up in, that you think Allah didn't already handle. Envy is worship of someone else's qadr, of someone else's timeline, someone else's life. Guilt is worship of a past that Allah already forgave. Allah Himself says it in the Quran. Just come back to Allah, you're done, you're forgiven. Fear is worship of a creation as if that creation holds more power than the Creator itself. So you don't need to make more money. You need to break your false emotional idols that you've been bound down to every single day without even knowing it. And yet you say, no, I only worship Allah. Really? And until you stop worshiping the false gods of thinking, what if I fail? What if I'm behind? What if I lose everything? Then you're not connecting yourself to the God who can give you everything. Because if you're truly with the one that gives you everything, none of these things will be coming into your mind. None of them. Now, am I telling you to live in false happiness and false positivity? Because this is what people tell you, by the way. They're like, oh, the secret, the law of attraction secret. Just think good thoughts, you'll be good. That's it. You've had a bad thought, you're doomed. Now it's going to come in reality. That's what people tell you. Am I telling you that? No, Habibi. Even though you've been taught to raise your vibration and all that stuff, to think positive, real rizq doesn't come to a happy mindset. It comes to a surrendered state. So even if you're feeling sad, if you're surrendered, during that moment of you feeling sad, you're good. You're good. So you want wealth to chase you, you want rizq to flow to you, stop asking, how do I get it? Start asking yourself, who do I need to become so Allah can trust me with it? And Allah is not withholding, Allah is just waiting for you to be in a state of surrender. And that's the state of Islam. Because what you're asking for, it does have weight. Anything that you're asking for, it has weight. And right now, your soul, it might not be strong enough. Your nafs, it might not be strong enough to carry it. And that's why we say, die before you die. So kill the false self, the one that's worshipping all these false idols, and the one that thinks it knows what's best. Kill it, go above it, and that's when you get everything. The self that thinks, if I don't hustle, I'm going to miss my rizq. And then when you go through that death that comes before the real death, that's when a new birth comes. A new self comes. A self that's aligned with Allah, that's quiet, and is just surrendered to Allah, just flowing through the will of Allah. A soul that's empty enough to be filled, empty enough for Allah to say, well, now you're ready. And that's when Allah is going to place everything that you need inside your life. And that's when wealth comes. That's when the thing that you stop chasing, it finds you. And the craziest part is that most people don't even know about this right here. Most people. I'm saying 99% of people. I'm saying Muslims and non-Muslims. I'm saying everyone. The whole world is chasing money, like money is the source, and they're forgetting that the one creator that created everything in front of you is the source. You hear all the time, people, I get comments, they're like, well, what about the non-Muslims? They're rich, but they're not in a state of Islam. They're rich, but they're not in a state of Islam. How is why is that? Habibi, 99% of the people in the world are not wealthy. Trust me, 99% of the people are not wealthy. Those who claim they have money and that's it. They just have money and they're so broke, they just have money and that's it. Because real rizq, real wealth is not just numbers on the screen. Real wealth is peace. Yes, you have money, numbers on a screen, but peace as well, barakah as well, blessing. So how can someone be wealthy when they're on antidepressants, when they're sleeping with strangers? They don't even have like true love in their life. They're scrolling their life away. They're scared of losing the very thing that they built their identity on. That's not wealth, Habibi. That's just you, survival in a palace. Again, you're so broke, you just have money. Don't be thinking that these people, they're living like lives that are way better than yours. Because once again, if you think that, you're worshipping the envy right now. And even Muslims, man, like we're out here begging with our tongues, but then we're doubting with our hearts, and that's why we don't receive. That's why you don't receive. But not you anymore. Now you know. Now you know. You've seen this. You've seen so many of my videos, hopefully. So now you know. You've heard the truth, and once you've heard the truth, you can't go back to chasing. Now you know you're not meant to chase wealth. Now you know that wealth is meant to chase you. And how is it going to start chasing you? When it sees the Creator in your heart. How is it going to see that the Creator is in your heart when you're surrendered? When you're so surrendered that even when you're thinking of 10 million, let's say, when you're thinking of the number 10 million, you know that it's not great. Because you know that Allahu Akbar. You know that Allah is greater. 10 million, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than that. But most people, sadly, even non-Muslims, they're like 10 million, they're like, oh my God, that's so much, bro. That's crazy. You might even talk to someone and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I make 10 million a year, a month or whatever. They're going to be like, oh my God, you're so rich. And then they start looking at you as so high. Why? Why? Just because, like literally why? The fact that you're doing that is because now you're thinking that money is so great. The fact that this person has it means that they're great. That's not the reality, man. That's not the reality. Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater. So if this helps you in any way, just let me know in the comments. You can literally affirm saying, I don't chase rizq. I align with the one who sends it. And if you truly have this in your heart, you're good. You're good. Now it's going to start chasing you. Inshallah. So if this right here was helpful, you're not meant to chase wealth. It's meant to chase you because Allah Himself promised it. You have Allah in your heart, it's going to start coming chasing you. If this was helpful, Habibi, just let me know.